Hello everyone. Today will be a quick video answering an email I got from DuppyBruh. Hey Samwise, I got into role-playing games about 2 years ago and I have still not found a way to find a group or play games with them at all. In my town, the end of tabletop RPGs has truly come, he believes. I still enjoy reading PDFs online and the few 4th and 2nd edition books I've collected. I've been trying to get my friends into gaming, but without playing any games, it's kind of hard to feel confident about GMing. And it's also tough to teach 2 to 3 people what RPGs are, the rule systems, and how to play their characters. I was wondering if you had any videos that gives advice about drawing new players in, or good things to do to introduce them to get them playing character. Thanks for all your time, DuppyBruh. So it's kind of tough to get new people into the hobby unless you have some experience with it. The things that I can draw upon here, I think, to help you is when I first started gaming. It really came down to me and my brother at the time to learn any RPG system we wanted to play with and run it for the kids around the neighborhood. No one else in the neighborhood seemed to want to take up that mantle and try to run a game. So for us, it was our first RPG experience. And we were a little intimidated by that. It's like, wait a minute, one of us has to run the game. What does that entail? And then we looked up, in the back of the book what that meant and just did the best we could. For you, perhaps I would start with a game system that's easy, that doesn't have a lot of rules, and then just learn that inside and out. Whatever system you pick, doesn't matter what it is. Then, maybe just get like 2 friends at first, and explain to them everything. If they are interested at all, maybe loan them the book so that they can read it. And if that's not the case, maybe you can just photocopy the sections that will be necessary to look at for their character. Or if you can get a second book, whatever you're going to run, one can be a player's copy and one can be the GM's copy. And you just keep both copies, and then when your friends come over, you just throw their copy out on the table so they can look at spells or character creation or whatever you need them to look at. It's kind of tough to get into the hobby sometimes. I can feel your pain there, I think, where you're not really sure what to do. How are you going to go about doing it? Do you recruit friends? Do you recruit gamers? Do you recruit complete strangers you have no idea about, but they're into gaming? And really, that comes down to personal tastes and what you think would work best for you. What works best for me, I guess, sometimes wouldn't work for other people. I have a tendency to invite complete strangers over to my house to play games, which probably isn't the safest thing to do, but I've only had maybe one problem with that, and they were just annoying. They weren't like, scary or anything like that. And there's always things like meeting people in public places first, or I don't know. I've recruited a lot of new people to playing games. I don't know how many of them stuck with the hobby after I stopped running games. I kind of have a feeling not a lot of them did. It was just the thing like, oh, Tim's fun. Let's go hang out and play whatever game Tim wants to run. I don't know. So I would start out, just pick a game that's easy, one that you know inside and out. Just read over it like 2 or 3 times, take notes. Just do your best. You really have to start somewhere. And these RPG videos that people do online on YouTube can help you. But they can also intimidate new GMs, I think. Just because we throw all these options out there, it might be kind of like information overload, where it's just too much stuff. Just do the best you can. You need experience, and you got to start somewhere. Every GM started somewhere where they were the first person running that game, or today's your first day to run a game for other people. So I don't know. I would try to recruit your friends. If that doesn't work, go to gaming stores and try to recruit people from there. Try to recruit maybe like anyone that likes to act, like if there's people that like to pull off plays, like theater groups and such, you could maybe try to find players there. It's kind of tough. Just look around online. Like I said, there's player database sites you can look at and see if you can find any players that way. I guess my only caution there would be just try to meet them in public first, or at least talk to them on the phone, or just ask a little bit about them, before you invite them over. Like I said, I kind of do that a little bit risky. I don't know. It's tough. Don't stress yourself out too much though. Maybe this is something else I should talk about. GMs have a tendency to put too much on them. And yes, to be a GM, you need to wear a lot of hats. You need to try a lot of different things and be decent in a lot of different areas. But you can also just stress yourself out way too much. I often say that GMing is sort of like an art form. And you need to practice. And, artists are notoriously hard on themselves and they stress themselves out. So just relax. If you ever run into a situation where you don't know the answer or you don't know what to do, just take a little bit of break. Okay, guys, I need to, look this rule up, or I need to, maybe just take a break to get something to drink. And, while you're doing that, just think, how can I do that? What way can I do to solve that problem? Or what ruling can I come up with to, solve whatever situation is at the table? Maybe somebody wants to jump across a cliff and you don't ever remember reading the jumping rules, wherever those are. Maybe there are no jumping rules. Worst case scenario, you can always just pick a percentage. Like, you know what, he probably has like a 60% chance of making that without dying, or falling down and at least getting really badly hurt. So worst case scenario, just have him roll a D100, and 60 and below he's successful, and 61 and above he fails. That's, but it doesn't even have to be on a percentage dice. It can be on any sort of dice you like, anything you're comfortable with. So percentages is a good way to, if you're not sure what to do, well, how about this? And GMing for players is kind of give and take. You're going to make some rulings that might not make them happy for a little while. If that's the case, talk about it after the session. Hey, just be honest. Like, I really wasn't sure what to do. That's what I came up with. What do you guys think? Did I do that okay? And the feedback from players is important, because one, if you're asking for it, players are probably more likely to tell you their feelings, where they might not always do so. They might just walk out and, maybe they thought that was the most horrible session in the world or whatever. But if you ask, they can tell you, like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. So don't beat yourself up too bad. But I guess the real crux of your problem is finding players. So once you get a few, like, you only really need 2 people. Heck, you only really need 1 player if you don't mind doing a solo adventure for them. It's a different dynamic. Personally, I don't think it's as fun, but it's a start. And if that's all you can get, that's all you have. So, roll with what you got. So I would just try to find a few friends that maybe are interested in like fantasy or sci-fi, and you might find that the only players you could find, like, they might only like sci-fi. So maybe try to find a sci-fi game that you're interested in and try to run that instead. Like I said, there's that give and take between players and the GM. Sorry if this is a little, rambly and incoherent. I got about 3 hours of sleep last night, so a little tired. Hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully you can find players. If you can't think of anything else to do, even put like a flyer up at like a grocery store on a like a community bulletin board or something like that. But I think in this age of RPGs, forums, social networking, you should be able to find somebody out there, hopefully, that will be willing to play with you. If not, you might be able to find some people via Skype. I'm probably do more Skype gaming now than I ever have, and I do more Skype gaming than I do face-to-face these days because of my son Wes, and I have to take care of him, who thankfully is taking a pretty decent nap downstairs. So, all right, everybody. Hopefully that answered your questions, Nick, and take care.